guys, and welcome to today's video. If you don't know me, my name is Kimberly Margarita. This is actually only my second video here on this channel. This is a channel I created to talk about all the stuff that interests me, like conspiracy theories, unsolved murders, paranormal stuff, just basically like anything weird, bizarre, and creepy. So if you like that kind of stuff, you have come to the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on future videos. Today we are going to be talking about 3 creepy stories. 2 of them have to do with unsolved disappearances and 1 of them has to do with reincarnation. So if you want to hear about that stuff, we're just gonna jump right in. I've got lip gloss in my mouth. Do you want to be a YouTube star? So the first unsolved disappearance we're going to be talking about today is about an abandoned ship called the Mary Celeste. This ship was found without passengers but full of cargo, and this still remains a mystery to this day. On November 7th in 1872, this ship known as the Mary Celeste set sail from New York City and was heading towards Italy. On board the ship was the captain Benjamin S. Briggs, his wife Sarah, their daughter, and 8 crew members. And less than a month later, on December 5th, a ship known as the De Grazia, I believe that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, actually spotted this ship, and there was no signs of anybody on board. When the people on the De Grazia saw the Mary Celeste, it was at full sail, and it was found just off the coast of Portugal. Once the crew of the De Grazia got on board the Mary Celeste, they found that besides several feet of water in the hold and a missing lifeboat, the ship seemed to be in absolute perfect condition. It was loaded with 6 months worth of food and water, and all of their personal belongings were still on board. So the obvious question here is, why would an experienced sailor and his crew members abandon a perfectly sound ship? So we're going to get into some of the theories here of what some people think might have happened. The first theory is pirates. Some people think that perhaps the ship was looted by pirates and the people were killed, but it doesn't really add up because everything still remained on board of the ship. Nothing was removed from it, so that theory just doesn't add up. Some people think that the crew might have been murdered, but there was absolutely no signs of foul play and no evidence whatsoever of this. And then the last theory would be that they had to abandon the ship because of a possible explosion. This ship was actually carrying quite a large amount of alcohol on board, so people think that there could have been a leak and the captain thought there was going to be quite a large explosion, so they had to abandon ship. And then there's always the theory of alien abduction. I mean, that's always a possibility. So those are all the theories that I could find. If you guys have any of your own, please leave them down below in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think of this case. It's just bizarre, and it bothers me that we won't ever know what happened. So the second topic we're going to be covering today is the eerie disappearance of the Eileen Moore lighthouse keepers. On January 1990, 3 lighthouse keepers disappeared, never to be seen again. So this mystery took place on a small island just off the west coast of Scotland. This island was called Eileen Moore, and it was completely uninhabited besides the lighthouse keepers and some sheep. So the 3 lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, they disappeared without a trace and no clues as to what had happened to them. So on Boxing Day 1990, the crew of a boat called the Hesperus arrived on this island. So the captain of this ship, James Harvey, he had been tasked with bringing a relief lighthouse worker to the island so one of the men could be switched out. It was just part of their working rotation. So right away, the crew of this ship noticed that something was off because the lighthouse was not turned on. Now obviously the purpose of a lighthouse is so it can shine and boats can see where they're going, but the lighthouse was turned off, so immediately they knew something was up. And as they got closer, they also noticed the flag that usually flew on the flagpole beside the lighthouse wasn't up, so that was another red flag. So as soon as they got inside the lighthouse, they knew that something was up because none of the men were anywhere to be seen, and that was a huge red flag because these men knew that one person had to remain inside the lighthouse to man it at all times. So the fact that all 3 men were gone from the lighthouse was just absolutely bizarre. Also, all of the clocks inside the lighthouse had stopped working. 2 of the 3 of the men's jackets were gone, and there was an uneaten meal left on the dinner table. So whatever had happened to these men seemed to have happened quite suddenly. And then later it was found out that the lighthouse had been out of operation for at least a couple of days because earlier a passing ship had gone by and noticed that the lighthouse wasn't in operation, so it had been off for at least a couple of days. So there isn't too many theories as to what happened to these men, but the one theory is that a big wave came and swept their bodies right out into the ocean because this lighthouse was over quite a tall cliff, and when it was stormy, I'm sure the waves would crash up. And yeah, it's a theory that the men got swept out into the sea. But it is strange because no storms had been reported up until this had happened. And the last entry in their logbook was that the weather was clear. So it's just very strange that none of that really adds up to them being swept away in a storm. And there really are no other theories. Some people say it could have been the wind. A big gust of wind came up and blew all these men away, but it was just strange that their bodies were never recovered. You think that if they would have been swept out into the ocean, that their bodies would have washed up, but their remains were never found. So with this story, it's just very strange because as lighthouse keepers, the men knew that one person had to remain in the lighthouse at all times. So what terrible thing could have happened on this island to make all three of them leave the lighthouse? Perhaps one man was falling over the edge of the cliff and the other two needed to go to his rescue, and then they all ended up falling in. I can't think of what else it could have been. So if you guys have any theories on this one, please leave them down in the comments below. I mean, besides that or alien abduction, I don't really know where the heck these men could have gone to. So this last case that we're going to be talking about is not actually 100% proven to have happened. So whether or not you guys believe this, that's kind of up to you. So this is a bizarre story of a possible reincarnation. So this happened to a 3-year-old boy from Golan Heights, which is near Syria. And this boy claimed to have been murdered in a past life, and he claimed to have remembered who in fact had murdered him. So this boy was actually able to recall his first and last name from his previous life, and also the first and last name of the man who he said to have murdered him in his past life. Now, this boy was actually born with a large birthmark on his head, and birthmarks in his culture are said to be connected to deaths in past lives. Now, this boy told his family that he was killed with a blow to the head from an axe. So a man named Dr. Eli Lash, again, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, became interested in this case and wanted to investigate a little bit further. So the boy said that he remembered what village he had lived in his past life. So him, the doctor, and his parents went to go visit this village. So when they went to this village, the boy was actually able to remember his previous home from his past life. So the boy told his parents that he could take them to the exact place where he had been killed. So once they reached this spot, they actually ended up digging into the ground and they discovered a skeleton in the ground in this exact spot where the boy claimed to have been murdered. So the skeleton had a wound to the head that actually corresponded with this young boy's birthmark on his head. And there they also found the murder weapon, which was buried beside the body, which was the axe. So again, like I said, this case has not absolutely been determined as fact, but it's up to you to decide. Do you guys believe in reincarnation and past lives? I really want to hear your thoughts on that. So please let me know down in the comments below what you think of this story and if you think that it's true or not. So that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed these 3 mysterious stories. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any requests or topics that you want me to cover on this channel. I really hope you guys hit that subscribe button down below, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. It would really help me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys! This is Ducky, for those of you who don't know her. She's the apple of my eye. You falling asleep? Am I stuck here now? Bye! Thanks for watching! Ducky says thank you. She says please subscribe.